W. Roger Randolph III. Yeah, he's my first initial, so yeah.
These skills, did you always know throughout your life that she would?
Well, yeah. She like kind of took a break like around the time I was a little kid, but around our house there was stuff that she painted before I was born, so I always knew that she was an artist. So she's actually kind of the reason I got into art and drawing. I go to Kappa for visual art.
Right.
So I mean, I've always known, but seeing her make some of the pieces she had, you know, given me a little bit more respect for her. You know, especially now that I'm taking formal classes, just to be able to see someone and the way they actually go through their process and making their artworks and everything. It's a good example. So.
What about her art stands out to you? Is it brush strokes, her use of color, or is there anything that stands out to you as a young artist?
The one thing that really stands out to me is just how realistic she's able to get the colors, you know. I mean, my mom is, you know, colorblind, so just the way that she's been able to, you know, get past that and be able to make these really, really photorealistic paintings. I mean, because some of them, you know, someone whose skin might be brown, she's painted it purple before or something, so she's been able to, you know, work around that and, you know, get something really good out of it, so.
My name is Sherri Randolph. I am a self-taught artist in the truest sense. I've never taken an art class anywhere. Most of the things I learned by being interested in how it's done and pretty much just trying it out until I can perfect it, or at least get it to a point where I like it. I guess I did my first portrait when I was in 4th grade, and my teacher actually noticed it, so during recess I would draw one person in my class every day until I finished the whole class. It took me about a month, and then we hung them up, and they looked just like them, so that's when I knew.
How did you deal with painting being colorblind?
Well, first of all, I'm color deficient.
Okay.
Colorblind, people get the tendency of thinking that you can't see colors at all, and no human, it's not possible to be 100% colorblind. So color deficient means that you don't see certain colors in their true sense. So a color would have to be a certain amount, like there's a difference between red and pink that I may not always notice that difference. I see purples and browns as the same colors. I'm about 65% color deficient, and there's a test that you take that determines how color deficient you are, but I didn't always paint. In my early years, I did a lot with pencil and charcoal, and to be honest, I was afraid of color. So it wasn't until I went to college and someone actually commissioned me to do a painting that I started painting, and wow, I just really fell in love with it. I mean, it just opened up a whole new world to me. Well, I had one mentor when I was in like 8th grade, a good friend of mine, Jerome Wallace, who was a painter, would paint these beautiful pictures, and I guess that was my first experience with paint even though I was, like I said, I was afraid of it. Yeah. But he was probably my first and only mentor. But he showed me some things that, like you said, you still use. And then I have to admit, one of the students at Kappa, Desmond Russell, when I struggled on painting jewelry, which I'm still perfecting, Desmond gave me a little trick of the trade of adding some other colors in gold that I would never think of. I mean, like, you know, adding purple and green. Who would ever think of that? But Desmond told me that, and it did work. So, I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due, but other than those two tips, I think that's about it. Most of it, I try to work on it. You know, I believe the difference between something being easy and something being hard is the learning experience. And I definitely experienced the learning. So, you know, I mean, like the first time I painted Tupac, I didn't put any of the tattoos on him or any of the jewelry because I wasn't ready to do that yet. And a couple of years later, when I did it again, I felt as though I had matured enough to do that. I don't have any of my watercolors here, but I do. When I first started painting watercolors, I wouldn't put features on them because I was afraid that, you know, if it's not going to turn out the way you want it, take baby steps, learn. Then you go back and you learn. And last year when Michael Jackson passed away, I painted his portrait, young Michael, in watercolor, features and all, you know. So it's not like I pick up a paintbrush and automatically can do it. I learn like everybody else. It's just my learning is all within, you know, yeah, by myself.
My name is Glenn Chafee.
Okay.
And I met Sherri at work.
I'm Chrissy Chafee, and I also know Sherri from work.
And you guys commissioned 2 pieces from her?
Yeah, actually, I did.
I was just the recipient.
Yeah, Chrissy grew up in that house on the wall, and after I started dating Chrissy, her mom put the house up for sale, so for a birthday present I got Sherri to draw that or paint that from a picture, and we gave it to Christine for her birthday, and it's, if you can see the picture, I wish I had the picture because it looks exactly like it, which of course looks exactly like the house. I wasn't happy with just one original gift, so Christine
Let's go for 2. Go big or go home, right?
Chrissy has 2 nephews that she's very, very close with, so she had a picture of the nephews on her workstation at work, so I had Sherri draw a picture of Christine and her 2 nephews. But I wanted it in pencil and she wanted it in color, so she won. You can see.
She liked that one better.
Yeah. So actually, because I wanted the house to be what Chrissy wanted, I mean, we had different angles, and it's tight on Mount Washington, so I had to take a lot of pictures. So I told Chrissy about the birthday present so she could weigh in on what she wanted. So her and Sherri had some artistic differences about what should be included and what shouldn't be included.
Like, for some reason I wanted the steps on the right because, like, it was like that's how I go home, like up the steps into the house, and Sherri was like, what do you want the steps for? And then there was a house in Mount Washington, all the houses are real close together, so there was another house right next to it, and she put the trees over top of the house because I said that wasn't important, but it really is unbelievably identical to the house. I mean, my mom just came over for Christmas and saw it and stood here and cried. It's that good.
Yeah, and it's really good if you take into consideration when I gave her the picture, she said, I don't know if you know I'm colorblind. So can you tell me what color this is?
So poor Roger had to tell her. Roger, is this right?
Is that amazing?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Color deficient.
Right.
So,
Challenged. Yeah, she thinks I'm black.
Little baby, don't you cry. My name is Sherri Randolph. And I love my mom's artwork. I'm such a huge fan.
Like if you had to commission a painting, like you slap somebody down and say, Moms, I want you to paint this. What would it be?
This is gonna be so cliche. Angela Davis. It's not that I think my mother doesn't want to paint women. I just think she hasn't found like the topic that she wants with women. You know what I mean? So I think she'll figure that out, and then there'll be lots of women around. But yes, I would definitely pick Angela Davis just because she was so picturesque. The thing that makes my mother's paintings different than other people's paintings is that she captures a likeness of something, right? So it may not be exactly what the picture was before, or exactly what any picture of that person has ever looked like, but you can tell who it is. Maybe not all the features perfect, but you just feel like that's that person, right? Like in the picture of Dwayne Dolphin, like she captures his coolness, like his mood, his calmness. So it's not just I'm looking at something that looks like Dwayne Dolphin's face, I'm looking at something that is posed and has the sort of energy that Dwayne Dolphin has as this person who's really cool that plays the bass, right? So it's not just how the picture looks, it's about the whole mood of the picture, capturing the person and the entire mood of the picture, from the color of the background to the expression on the face. I just told a story. I remember being little and going to an art show with my mom and her having one like painting in the show and like looking around like everyone's paintings are so much cooler than mine, like even though her painting was still really good. So I guess I went from her like just being involved in someone else's show or going to someone else's show and some people that she knew because she had shows with them before, to being able to control the future and the showing of her art, right? So not just being in someone else's show, but then going to having her own show, which was a really good thing for me, because it showed that just because something's your passion doesn't mean you can't be in control of it. And so having a show here, to having a show at the Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater, to having, to like considering where she's having her next show, different venues, that people that want her, and really being able to control like the dates, the whens, all these other things, like having it be your space and controlling who comes in, is valuable, and it's something that I think that she gained over the years that made a big difference, in my opinion.
Tanya Ferris Redwood.
How do you know Sherri?
Wow, that's a long story. Actually, I know her through the work she used to do with children's theater. I met her previous to some of her, she actually had done some productions by the time I met her. But that was our initial connection because my son is an actor. And he was very young. And we just connected as soon as we met one another. And he got to be in some of her productions, and the rest is history.
And you have a couple of pieces you have that Sherri painted.
Yes.
Okay, what pieces do you have?
I have a piece of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Barack and Michelle Obama. Oh yeah, she did have a piece of her, Tupac, one of my favorites. Oh yeah, and there was one out of the Black Book that she had done years ago that she recreated just for me. I fell in love with it when I saw it. And she recreated that piece. And it's called the Black Book. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it has a lot of pieces of art that are just outstanding. And she honored me with that piece as well.
Did you know that she had the style to do this?
Absolutely not. What I meant, that's what's wonderful, because like I said, we met her through the theater connection, and she's a great director, and she's really good with young people, and I admired and respected all that. And I think the way I found out, I believe this is what happened. My son and I had to go to her house for it was a voice. They were working on a song or something for one of the shows, and I saw the piece that she'd done on her children. And then we started looking through her home, and she started indicating all the pieces she had done. And I was blown away, because I didn't know she had that kind of talent. And it's so interesting. She's done oils, she does chalk, she does pastels. Speaking of which, I cannot believe that I did not say about the last piece, which was it actually wasn't a gift to me, but I'm blessed to be able to share it. It was a gift to my son, who she's worked with over the years in terms, like I said, the theater stuff. When he graduated last year, she did a pastel of him for his graduation that is just, it's just unbelievable. This is one of the things you have to see when we watch, we look at it, we go, wow. And I think she did it from a picture on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. And it is just gorgeous, and I really am remiss for not mentioning that in terms of my pieces. But I was thinking to ask you, you were talking about the ones that were given to me. But you know, she gave that to him, but it's still at my home until he gets his own place permanently. I feel, you know, she's been a wonderful gift to me and my family. So it hasn't just been our friendship, she's been friends with, we've been friends, family friends, you know, her family and my family. So it's been a wonderful gift. And like I said, just being able to be a recipient of some of this work, you know, that I cannot afford, I would not be able to afford otherwise, you know, if we weren't friends. And, you know, most of them were gifts. I mean, she was just, you know, I think that's very telling of someone with this kind of skill and talent. You know, sort of the giving side of her is as big as the talent side of her. So, you know, she surprised us on so many occasions. So it's just been wonderful.
So you both challenge each other pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now, does she do the same thing for your art?
Out of the art she sees, yeah. Because a lot of the art stays at Kappa, so the stuff that she's seen, she's helped me with, you know, giving me ideas, but most of it's, you know, me giving ideas to her. It's not the other way, you know.
It used to take me 2 weeks or it took a month to paint a picture. And now I painted Martin Luther King in a day. I painted the long-legged lady in a day, in the evening actually. So, you know, but I guess now it takes me like 2 to 3 days. A day to do the face, a day to do the body, and a day to do the background. And that's about it. Because once you get started, like I said, it pulls you in.
Do you see any similarities in your style and her style?
We're both realists. Like we both, you know, and neither of us really do anything from imagination. It's always like observation, and we do things, you know, try to make them look as they are in real life. Because I mean, me going to school, lots of the people that I go to school with in visual art, they like cartoons and like drawing things and creating things. I'm more of someone, I want to like draw things that are, you know, tangible and are actually there, and something I can see and make, and things that are real. Yeah.
Actually, I did. I went on a work trip with Sherri, and we went to lunch, and she pulled out this portfolio out of her purse of all these, right?
Drawings, yeah.
All these drawings that she had done.
Yeah.
So that's when I found out, and then that was at least 2 years before I had her do this, and I was trying to figure out a way to. It was Chrissy and I's first Christmas together, so I wanted to make something special. So I thought, you know, she can do people too, so I had her draw that picture.
What I've just been overwhelmed by is the fact that she is not a trained artist. And I really didn't know until recently, I'm not going to tell you how recently, but I didn't know until recently that she had never taken an art class. And so I'm just astounded by that because, you know, her work is just, you know, it's just gorgeous and beautiful and moving. And the fact that she's never taken an art class, that kind of natural talent is just not only remarkable, but it's inspiring, you know what I'm saying, and it's motivating. You know, it really says that people can do whatever, you know, if they try, and, you know, there's no telling where a talent can take them.
One of these mornings, you'll got our eyes up singing. Then you'll spread your wings, and you'll take the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mommy standing by.
I mean, really, I want her name to be known, you know, in the Pittsburgh art scene, because my mom is a really good artist and she's been painting for a while, and, you know, I guess her little hiatus kind of took her off of the map a little bit, but I want her to be back. I want, you know, when you talk about Pittsburgh artists, I want Sherri Randolph to be one of the names that's, you know, up there.
Pittsburgh Jazz Series exhibit, which is all the local musicians in the city of Pittsburgh, kind of as a tribute to them and their legacy, and the whole Pittsburgh legacy actually when it has to do with jazz. I currently have pictures of Sean Jones, Tony Campbell, Dwayne Dauphin, Roger Humphreys, Alton Merrill, Rodney McCoy, Kevin Howard, Al Dow, Etta Cox, Nelson Harrison, Howie Alexander. Also on the list to be painted is Tom Witt, Shawnee, and Kenny Blake. And that will sum up the Pittsburgh Jazz Series. I hope you guys can come out to see it. Look forward probably late this summer, early fall, on into 2012 at various local galleries in the Pittsburgh area. Thank you.